Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and the last video of the day will be the Majin Buu Archetype breakdown. We're trying to spam these out because, woo, I was a little more tired than I thought I was moving and trying to jump directly into work, so I kind of messed up the weekend, and so now, yeah, we are about to finish off all of set 4 and then really start doubling down on the Nats prep, which you can find more of on Patreon. Check that out, I implore you. But this video is going to be going over the Majin Buu Archetype, and it is the most aggressive way to play yellow since the Ginyu package, and I think it's actually one of the more fun decks to play in this set. So we're gonna go over the Archetype, what makes it work, and some just like general lines of play that you might or may not have thought about before. So if you like the content, like the video, and if you love the content, maybe even subscribe. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can go over to my second channel, Universe X, my general Dragon Ball channel, give it a subscription because we are this close to 1,000, and check out the content there. It would mean a lot to me. So let's jump into the breakdown. Okay, so first we got to talk about the leader. You got the Majin Buu Evil. This guy, great art, and he's just normal. When attacking, draw 1 card, flip over at 4 life, draw a card, leader. But then you go over to his Awakened side, and he gets really cool. So you've got the when attacking, once per turn, draw a card, because he can attack multiple times a turn, and generally will. Auto once per turn, when your battle card with Majin or Evil Wizard and special traits is KO'd, switch this card or up to 1 of your energy to active mode. Now personally, so far in the builds that I've been playing against and I've tested myself, I don't really think you have enough activate battles to capitalize on untapping an energy. There are certain times in a turn where untapping the energy can extend your play, but on your opponent's side, when one of your cards gets KO'd, generally you're not running a build that's going to allow you to capitalize on that, and then untapping your leader is useless on your opponent's turn. But yeah, during your turn he can either get another swing in, or you can extend a play if you were needing 6 energy but you only had 5 and used already 4 already and you need to play 2-drop, things like that. So going through this guy, you have 2 important categories in my opinion. You have the cards that are KO outlets, the cards that are going to KO other cards to get this effect. And then you have the cards that are KO ammunition in my terms, which are just the cards that have effects when they're KO'd, which are your prime targets for KOing. So starting with the KO outlets, you have got Majin Buu Kid. Now this is a 3-cost, 30k, 5k combo power. Permanent, this card can't be switched to active mode during your charge phase. Activate main, once per turn, KO up to 1 of your battle cards and your leader has the Majin and his special traits, switch this card to active mode. Despite me reading that entire effect, I'm not going to be doing that for the other cards unless it's specifically needed. But the point is, you can just KO a card and he can't be untapped during your untap phase. But when you KO a card, you can untap him. So this is going to lead to a lot of cool combos, but just keep that in mind because we're going to tie all these in together later. Then you've got Majin Buu Evil. This is the SR that we already saw. This guy is one of the more destructive ones. Both of those are very destructive. These are your 2 primary KO outlets in my opinion. But this guy, the fact that he draws you a card and you KO is going to help stem, just help get back the advantage you get from playing out some of these for free, things like that. And then on top of that, he's going to be able to discard, which is going to be great in combination with the Bobbity that we're going to see a little later. Then you've got this Majin Buu. This is, I think, literally 3rd place for KO outlets. He's just the 3-cost that goes up to 35k when you KO something, and he can KO something once per turn. So realistically, these are the best ways to KO things on your board. Then later you have this Majin Buu Evil, and this Majin Buu Evil is pretty cool because he is both ammo and outlet. Once per turn you can KO 1 of your battle cards, but if he's KO'd, you draw a card. And this is going to lead to some really cool combos when you use him to KO a card, and then you get the effect there and you untap your leader or an energy, but then you can also use the the SR to KO this guy and you draw 2. And that's actually just really cool interactions if you choose to play this card. And he's a 10k combo, so that's also something to look at because yellow is very short on those. Now we're going to start going over to strictly ammunition. This is one of the best ones in the deck. This card is so freaking good. You've got Bobbity. And Bobbity says on play, if your leader has Majin and special traits, you're going to cheat out another Majin with 3 costs or less. Great. But then on top of that, when he's KO'd, you're going to discard a card from your opponent's hand if they have 6 or less. So when you have Bobbity and you play Babidi and then you play out the SR Majin Buu Evil, you're going to be able to destroy Babidi with his effect, and your opponent, if they have 7 or more cards in hand, will be discarding 2 cards. That is insane. And when you're attacking your opponent, like even a play as simple as that while you're awakened means you get to attack once for 20k with your leader, draw a card, attack one more time with your Majin Buu SR. Then you can activate the Majin Buu SR, or you don't even have to wait. You don't even have to attack first. You can just, if you want to sequence it with ascending orders of attack, you can attack with your leader, draw a card, activate the effect of, just the Majin Buu SR, pop Babidi. Your opponent discards 2 cards as long as they started this out with 7 or more cards in hand, and then you get to end up playing or untapping your leader, getting another 20k swing on, and then swinging for 25k with the Majin Buu SR. So you can really get some good mileage on these cards, and this is really just good. You already saw that all of our KO outlets can be cheated out with this Babidi, and so realistically he's just ensuring that you get at least a discard, and for 3 you're playing 2 cards. So I think this is just wonderful. Then you have this Majin Buu Evil, and he's just a self-awakener, but on KO, he's going to be able to rest an opponent's battle card. Not the best, but he's there. We're not even going to talk about Idasa. There's no reason to play this blocker, and his even his on KO effect sucks. It's just so easy removable, you can't ever really depend on it. We've got B, while adorable, same thing. It's a blocker, it's easily removable, and it's not like it's doing too much. 5k is nothing when people generally will combo 10k over something. Yeah, you can use a 10k to combo to something. Normally you have to use a super combo or a 10 and a 10 or a 10 and a 5, but it's really not that serious. But next you have this one, this Majin Buu from set 3. I do think he is actually quite cool. He still has Bear, he's still going to dodge the removal that normally cripples his deck, and you can destroy him and discard a card from your hand and he will always come back. So he's actually pretty strong, and I think that really he finds a nice little place in here. He has the Majin trait, so he can be played off of that Babidi. He can be cheated out in quite a number of ways, and I think that's actually something that shouldn't be ignored. Then you have this interesting Majin Buu Pure Evil that actually KOs himself. He's a 2-cost 30k, 10k combo power, so that's a very good effective stat line. You need 10ks in yellow, they're 10k light, and then when attacking, you'll be able to, at the end of the battle, KO this card, which will trigger your leader to untap or untap an energy, and so that's all Gucci. But real quick, let's have the quick note from our sponsors, and then let's keep going with the video. Alright y'all, taking a quick moment to shout out the sponsors for this video. First up is Mystic TCG, a store based in Missouri that sells all sorts of TCG product, even more than what you see featured here on this page. They also buy singles, collections, and prize cards, so make sure you actually catch them out in their store in Missouri at an event, or even on their Facebook, just to be able to see the events here, but also ask them what they're up to and what they're looking for in terms of vending. You can also use the code UNIXTCG to get discounts off your pre-orders as well as orders, so make sure you get your TCG product while it's hot. And we're always up to all sorts of things in Universe X, so you can go down the description and check the link tree to find out about my other channels, my Twitch, or any other avenues that I'm creating content on. So with that being said, let's get back to the video. So the next thing on our list is going to be the Double Striker. This deck has its own Double Striker, and that is awesome. And this Double Striker is going to be the Majin Buu Kid card. 5 cost, 35k, so normal stats, but on play, you get to cheat out an Evil Wizard or a Majin, and this is where it gets destructive, because you can cheat out a Babidi, and that Babidi can play out the same Majin you could have cheated out with this, giving you something to KO, untapping your leader, and discarding a card for them in a turn where you're going to be hitting them multiple times. It just gets nasty. When we go into what this deck is capable of, and you start seeing this Buu in action, it is truly one of the scariest double strikers out there, because every double striker normally removes something when it comes out. This guy doesn't remove anything when he comes out except your chances of surviving the turn. He is disgusting, and the plays that he can get out, simply the plays that he can get out, are just nasty. This is it's subtle. I mean, it's funny because when you start cheating out cards, you really start you start cheating. Like, we all know, if you're a Masters plays especially, you know how dangerous it can be when cards start playing other cards for free. But this is that. Like, you can play a Majin Buu kid into a Bobbity into any 3-cost Majin, and that is 11 energy for 5. So yeah, it's not like Kefla bad, but if you think about it, 1 energy for 7, 11 for 5, I guess you're really only playing twice the energy here, whereas Kefla is playing 7 times the energy. So it's really more like egregious there. But yeah, nah, this will lead, if you are not ready, if your hand is not stabilized by the time this card comes down, you could just lose that turn to the following turn. It's just, don't at me. Then we've got some missing cards, some miscellaneous cards, and yeah, you got Majin Buu Pure Evil. This card was pretty cool. He really is just getting cards out of the way. He's going to be able to put things in rest mode. And then if you do decide to play him, which I don't really think he has a nice place in the deck, but if you decide to play him, he does make some really, really good plays with energy absorption, tapping something that maybe they didn't want tap, energy absorbing it to make sure that it stays tapped. Very, very nice. And then you also have this Bobbity. This Bobbity is rather format dependent. If we have a lot of 3-drops, then this is going to be decent, but he's got barrier and he's going to draw a card once per turn. But due to the nature of this game right now, a lot of decks that have 3-drops are playing multiples at a time, or kind of doing some combo stuff, attacking multiple times in a turn with sometimes the same card, including this deck, and you're really not getting a lot of mileage out of one card. You can, but I wouldn't suggest it. More testing will show, but this card generally isn't making the cut. And then tying it all together, we have this 1-drop Bibbidi that searches. He searches almost all of your deck except for your Evil Wizard. So he doesn't search Bobbity, and he doesn't search your Double Striker. So that can be a little rough, but for the most part, he searches all of your cards that matter when it comes to your engine. Basically all your Majin Buus, and we are here for it. And then you have Blind Spot Absorption, which is in the deck. It's really just a generic card, really. Activate Battle, you're going to go up 20k on your opponent's turn, but then you can also activate Battle, pay an extra 1, draw 1 card, and then switch one of your opponent's battle cards to rest mode. Not very Archetype themed, but it is a Majin card. And so it can be searched with Bobbity, so it makes the list. And it also says Absorption, which is very interesting. I didn't know Absorption was a thing. I wonder if that's going to be like a future thing. Like they make Android, like, I don't know, Android 21, or if they make something different. Or maybe we'll get something in Daima that revolves around Absorption. But it's very interesting that we got an Absorption trait. Then we are going to go over to Humanity Destruction. This card is doo-doo. Like, for 1 more energy, you have the infinitely superior card that is Final Explosion. So I just, whatever. Now, the thing is, though, Final Explosion only does destroy 2 things, and if they have a bunch of weenies on board, this would destroy all of them, but you gotta rest them first. So, once again, I just think that there's no reason not to play Final Explosion over this. And then, last but not least on our docket, you've got Unsealed Majin, and that's just going to be the ability to blow up a Evil Wizard, and then play a Majin with up to 3 cost, and I think that's pretty tight. But the real strength of the Majin Buu deck is the ability to come out of literally nowhere, and you can just swing so many times. There are so many turns where between the Swole Buu and your leader, you could be able to be like, okay, double strike, and then play out Bobbity, and then play out Swole Buu, and then attack with my leader for 20k, and then I'll attack with Swole Buu for 30k, then I'll activate Swole Buu's effect, and he's going to untap himself by popping Bobbity, and Bobbity's going to force you to discard a card, and that's going to allow my leader to untap because I destroyed an Evil Wizard. Then I get to attack you again for 20 and 30 before I attack with my Kid Buu for whatever I want to on the double strike. And realistically, that's cool because for 5 mana, for 5 energy and 3 cards in hand, the Double Striker, the Bobbity, and the Swole Buu, you are swinging leader, Swole Buu, leader, Swole Buu, and the Kid Buu. That is 5 swings. 5 swings for 5 energy. And that cannot be ignored. Like, this deck can do some really fun things, and I think it's one of the decks where even if you don't expect yellow to be good, you have to watch out for this leader because, yeah, he can just steal games. He can easily come through and just put you in a terrible position you don't want to be in. So you really have to be ready to face a sort of deck like this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Majin Buu. Stay tuned tomorrow for the black breakdowns and one more video, and we are going to have an excellent time just going through this set. We're prepping for Nats. I am excited to be able to push the envelope, and I can't wait to see you guys there. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure that tomorrow, on top of waiting for the black reveals, the black archetype breakdown for baby, the mystery video tomorrow, and then on my second channel, go over, if you're checking out Daima, for episode 4's breakdown review / everything you may have missed for Dragon Ball Daima. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace.